So the question is whether United States is losing its Arab allies to Russia. And to answer that, one can look at what happened in uh, 2021 summit, climate summit, where President Biden had blamed Saudi Arabia for the fossil fuel and called them a pariah. So it started out there, and soon after that, a week after that, matter of fact, President Biden called Saudi Arabia and asked for a little more oil production so they could lower the oil prices. So when you look at that, that's exactly where this thing started out with MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the de facto leader of UAE. So this is what this is how it started out, and it kind of somewhat not escalated, but it got the tensions rose from that point on, where fast forward, Mohammed bin Salman did not want to take President Biden's phone call. At least there was some arrangements that were being made, and I think the Saudis declined it. Same with Sheikh bin Mohammed bin Zayed. Both of them took calls from Vladimir Putin. So while this is going on, the Ukrainian situation is getting worse, and there is silence between these three nations: United States, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Naturally, everyone is gonna get concerned that is United States losing its Arab allies. In my assessment, it is a little strained, but there's nothing that's really cause for a concern at this point, because I know when it really came down to it, the Saudis, specifically Mohammed bin Salman, would use proper judgment as far as taking the President Biden's phone calls, and same with Sheikh bin Mohammed bin Zayed from UAE. They do have some other concerns besides this Ukrainian situation. They do have concerns with the Iranian nuclear deal being put back on the table, because Saudi Arabia would like to see its own nuclear program that gets into the mix. So that said, there was a situation with the Iranian-backed Houthi militant in Yemen firing missiles, and that gave pause to the UAE and Riyadh, both of them. So moving forward, I think everyone would make the right decisions. When you look at the alliance that's between UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Russia, there is an alliance there. They refer to it as OPEC plus. So it does naturally, higher oil prices benefit Russia. No doubt about that. Now that the sanctions are being placed on Russia, Russia is in a tremendous amount of strain there. So at this point, I think cooler heads would prevail, and they would make the right decisions, because United States is a key ally to Saudi Arabia and to UAE. They need us and we need them. So eventually, I think they would both make the right decisions as far as talking to each other. The Iranian nuclear deal is definitely a cause for concern for the Saudis. And that said, I think Mohammed bin Salman also has some legal issues that he's facing that he would like to possibly have immunity from, as far as the journalist being killed in 2018. You recall Jamal Khashoggi was killed. So there is some legal issues with that Mohammed bin Salman would like immunity against. So that said, moving forward, I think it will sort itself out. Everyone, including Biden, that sort of not a mistake, but at a climate summit, I think it was something that the language was a little bit upsetting to Saudis, specifically Mohammed bin Salman, when Biden referred to them as a pariah. So I think we're all gonna have to probably cool things off, because if things move in the wrong direction with Ukraine and Saudi Arabia and UAE find themselves on the wrong side, it could make everything extremely difficult for them and for United States and everyone else involving, including all the NATO members. So the situation in Ukraine is escalating. If it spirals out of control and gets into a World War-like situation, which one can never tell, because war is unpredictable, and everyone knows that there are chances that things could spiral out of control if one of the NATO members is attacked or gets involved in some sort of a conflict with Russia. So that said, moving forward, I think cooler heads will prevail. But at this point, those key points there is what I wanted to mention. That way, everyone can understand what is going on between United States, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. We'll leave it at that for right now, but there was some other points. I think I could bring that up in a later video, so one can understand what else is going on between United States and its Arab allies.